Good evening, and welcome to Wake Up. And as you notice, I'm by myself. I'm in my library. See, Reb Jimmy lives about 35 miles away. We had a very large snowstorm, and so I told him he should probably stay home and not be on the highway. And for those who are interested in how he's doing health-wise, well, I can just let you know, if you really want to know, look at last Saturday's program. And when you get to it, go an hour and 6 minutes into it, and he'll give you the testimony of his bona fide, certified miracle. Okay, I'm not going to tell you more than that. But I will tell you we had a snowstorm, and I was concerned about the highways, so I asked him to stay home. But next week, we'll be getting together, and we are going to deviate from the news a little bit. We're going to talk about Hanukkah to some degree. All right? So, let's get on with the program. So, I would like to talk to you about the scary part of this upcoming season. You see, unfortunately, when I was growing up as a kid, the Christmas Hanukkah season was a big celebration. And I grew up in a predominantly non-religious home, and so we had like Christmas trees and such. But it was always a time in which we would get together, we would have a tree or a bush, and what else? Well, there was always the family drinking and the family fights on Christmas, and, it was quite the routine. So anyway, let me go ahead and tell you that this is a dangerous season. It's not like it was when we were kids. When I was a kid, Moses crossed the Red Sea. That's humor, folks. Work with me. But seriously, growing up in the 50s and 60s and even to the 70s, Christmas was a celebratory event. And into the 80s, it began to dwindle some. By the mid-1990s, it had become so commercialized that we lost the reason for the season. And now, it's the time of thieving. That's right. You see, Christmas and Hanukkah are supposed to be find a better way of putting it. It's supposed to be a time in which we really do see God. We really do see His majesty. It really is a time in which Christians come together and they remember, yes, a baby in the manger, but that baby will grow up and become the Redeemer of the world. It's a time in which, in all honesty, we as modern day believers need to keep, not let it slip away from us. I'm making an adjustment on my screen here. Okay. And so I want to tell you about some of the things you should be cautious of. First of all, this year, and this is like the third year in a row, we've seen a lot of protest type activities because people want to disrupt our life, even our joy. And so, let me give you an example. For the last 3 years, okay, during the Macy's Day Parade, of all things, pro-Palestinians, okay, have blocked the parade. Now, after 2023 and 2024, they were very much on top of it this year. But we had 25 people arrested for trying to stop the parade, okay, this year. This year's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We also had, in 1924, which is last year, we had 21 arrested for trying to stop the parade. I think it's interesting when you think you're going to get pro-attention when you do some negative events. Anyway, but here's a few more for you. There's a boycott against Home Depot, for an example, and it's by a group called People for Change. And their plan is to boycott anybody any company that may appear to be pro-immigration or pro-Trump style immigration. Okay? And so they plan on disrupting businesses along the way there. Now, we also have, what's this other one? In the state of Utah, there are going to be protests and disruptions over what's called conversion camps. Never heard of a conversion camp, have you? It's pretty quiet. It's camps that get together for encouraging and inspiring young people to have a gender change. That's right. They all come together in the little camps and they push the gender issue. In fact, in many places, gender conversion camps now have been outlawed. But this particular group in the state of Utah plans on several public demonstrations during this holiday season. Now, there are always those who are opposing churches, and I found a horrible statistic. Did you know last year in the United States, there were 415 churches that were disrupted during the high holy days or during the holidays, disrupted, okay, for various political, social, economic, but predominantly political, pseudo-religious reasons. 415 churches had their services interrupted. And as far as the synagogue goes, those are in the thousands. But unfortunately, we who are Jews, we've learned to live with such things, and I wish we would quit learning to live with things and respond. And those sillinesses will come to an end quickly. But probably the biggest thing happens during this year is people get wiped out financially. And not because of overspending, but because of theft. And, I just changed my phone. I had all these statistics on it for you. But it's something like $8 billion, that's with the B, okay, was lost to porch pirates. And from stores, another 45 billion, and that's with the B, okay, lost merchandise walking around the front door. And it's amazing because when we think about the porch pirates, when we see people running up on us and grabbing a box, no idea what's in it. But last year they got really, really creative. They began to follow UPS trucks. And they saw a good-sized box. The truck would get halfway down the block, and that package would be gone a second time. But here's what's so bad about that. When they go ahead and drop your package off, maybe UPS or FedEx or even US Mail, they take a picture of it and send it to you and show you it was delivered. Amazon shows you it was delivered. And the amazing thing is the fact that people think the company or the post office or whoever just didn't get it and deliver it. When the truth is, there was someone following that UPS truck. That's right. No wonder we lost $8 billion. Now, let's talk about, on the same line, what's called, and I wrote it down here, digital skimming. Do you know there's a handheld device where a person can read your wallet just by being behind you or being close to a woman's purse? And those are the really interesting ones because they can read all the code, everything, and clean out the account or rack it up, whichever it is. Depends on if it's a debit card or checking account or even worse, your credit card. And so once they do this, okay, they have access to all your funds. Now, here is a couple of things you might want to know. I watched a couple of programs on digital safety, Okay, and there are products, okay, that you can purchase, okay, that an RF reader cannot read through. Here's what I found interesting. I'm looking at all these products that are on Amazon and other stores, and they kind of worked. Kind of. But the truth is, nothing worked better than aluminum foil. No, I'm not one of those crazy people with the aluminum foil hat. No. Actually, if you take a piece of aluminum foil, gentlemen, and put it in your wallet, both sides, okay, once you fold your wallet, your credit cards are protected all the way around. Doesn't cost anything but a little bit of aluminum foil. Okay, so don't run off and buy these $15 and $20 special pouch gadgets, which you're going to hate anyway, because you got to take it in and out and all this. Aluminum foil. I think any brand will work. Also, here's some more advice. I'm going to get to the spiritual stuff in just a moment. But if you're going out for an evening, leave a light and your television on. Turn the television up a little bit so it appears like you're home. Okay? And, kind of draw the curtains, but not completely. Let it obvious that there's lights on. Okay? It'll really help deflect anybody breaking into your home. Okay? Now, people go shopping and they have the car just packed with presents and things. A lot of the theft during the holiday season takes place in the parking lots of a lot of the big box stores. They break the window and they clean you out. And you're still stuck with a broken window. I have a friend who owns a gun shop. Okay? And what they found is that people would wait and watch. And if you carried a package out of the gun store, they always assumed it was a firearm. Okay? And they would follow the person until they came to a pretty quiet spot. Okay? And then cut them off. And then rob them at gunpoint of whatever firearms they just purchased. And this is crazy stuff, I know. You have to keep your car doors locked. And that way, if they break into it, by the way, keep your receipts close. Okay? At least you're able to apply to your insurance. All these tidbits were meant to help for your holiday, your Hanukkah or Christmas season, not to be destroyed by thievery. But there's another type of thieving that takes place. And it's the worst. It's the thieving of encouragement or celebration. It's when we permit people to break into our hearts and minds and try to, I like calling it, rain on our parade. When I've come to celebrate the Messiah, or if I've come to celebrate Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, there's always going to be someone who's going, well, this isn't true, this isn't. Right? And they're horrible. They're season stealers. They're robbing us of our appointed time of a celebration. Okay? I am going to suggest that you don't overspend and you live within your budget and such, but also avoid those who expect a big return. No one can take it from you, so don't let them. This is not going to be a long program. Once again, I miss my partner, Rabbi Rittenhouse. But he's recovering, doing very well. You got to watch that little bit of the program. Now, if you are interested in wanting to keep Hanukkah this year, okay, we have this that we're going to offer to you. Do you see it? And if you look up in the corner, let's see, am I going the right way? If you would look up in the corner of your screen, you'll see a phone number. Okay? If you would text a email address to that number, I will send this to you into your email. Okay? So, text that phone number and receive this. And you'll be able to keep Hanukkah. It's the lighting of the candles night by night with New Testament and Old Testament scriptures given to you, and the reason and the why of each of the 8 candles. All right? I know there are 9 candles, but you have to know the secret of the 9th candle. If you get the little pamphlet booklet, you'll have it. So, don't let this be a scary event. Okay? Be careful on the road. Be careful. If you think someone's following you, go to a very well-lit place and call an officer. Okay? So, anyway, that's my big program for tonight. And I'd like you to know, I really enjoy doing this, but I'm going to enjoy it even more when we talk about Hanukkah next week. Okay? I have Rabbi Rittenhouse with me, assuming we don't have some big old snowstorm again. All right? So may God bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. Amen. Amen.